If you're trading in 2026, the way real edge gets built is changing faster than you realize. Not the strategies themselves, but how you actually research, test, and deploy them. I've been trading for 7 years, and I'm currently running 10 automated strategies across crypto, futures, and equities, with my portfolio now sitting in mid-six figures. And over the last 30 days, I've watched something strange happen with AI tools. The bottleneck in algorithmic trading has changed. It's not where it used to be at all. It's completely moved. And if you're a trader trying to figure out why systematic guys are pulling away from the rest of the market right now, or you've been thinking about getting into algorithmic trading but kept telling yourself it's way too technical, you need to watch this video. Now, what has actually changed? Well, to explain it, let's look at what building an algo used to look like versus what it looks like today. The old workflow was tons of researching ideas, so a lot of slow reading, going through papers, tweet posts, YouTube videos, really anything, going through books as well. Then you would code it from scratch, and depending on your coding level, it would take you either a couple of hours to a couple of days, and it also depends on what particular strategy you're coding. Then you would 100% have to go through debugging, so finding out bugs that happen within your code, fixing them, going back and forth. Then obviously building out your backtest infrastructure. Now over time this would get quicker and quicker, but initially building out backtest infrastructure definitely is a quite big time commitment. Then you've got test, iterate, and repeat. Obviously you need to find constantly new strategies and optimize as well. Now the new workflow is you can research using AI. So a lot of times you can pass papers, books, YouTube videos, podcasts into AI, and it can give you a summary. And what you can actually do is I'm going to tell you a technique later where it can tell you and find you strategy ideas from within those videos very quickly. Two, now the design architecture is still going to mainly be you. And what I mean by this is how you particularly backtest, how do you particularly build out your execution engines, what methods are you going to use, what brokerages are you going to use, what is the most ideal route for you to go past for this particular strategy. That's going to still be relying on you, but a lot of it is more thinking and research side of things rather than having to comb through tons of papers and stuff like that. Then three, AI can now pretty much code the implementation. It depends on the strategy and the brokerage. Sometimes AI is going to be amazing. For example, like with interactive brokers and maybe with crypto, AI is really good at coding algos on those ends, but with a more niche platform, let's say like DAS, most of the time you're going to need to hire a developer or you're still going to need a bit of coding knowledge there. Then four is verify, test, and judge. This is still going to be mainly you, and this is probably most of my job nowadays, where I'm verifying the outputs of the particular code, testing it myself maybe about some nuances, and then judging, if this is good enough to pass on to the next layer. Eight is then the backtest infrastructure. Now, AI can now help you build this a lot faster than you used to be able to. And if you pass in the right sources or templates, it can build it very, very well, where even a top tier developer, it'd basically be the same. And number six, the biggest difference in this new workflow is you can ship multiple strategies or multiple different ideas every single month using this sort of AI workflow. It has become so much faster to go from idea to output using AI because you can set up these processes. And a lot of the times when researching new strategy ideas, you're doing fundamentally the same things. So once you've done it once, it quickly multiplies where you can do multiple of these different ideas quickly in a month. To be completely frank, the bottleneck to algorithmic trading used to just be writing code and also the time of it. Now it's design, verification, and knowing what a good system actually looks like, because if you don't have those things, you can't really take advantage of AI. But what does this actually look like in my portfolio of the past 30 days? Well, across my 10 strategies running on different markets, so equities, futures, and crypto, we can see overall the portfolio returned about 11.9%, and I had a max drawdown of 4.93%. In total, I took about 224 trades, and these were all fully automated without me manually placing them at all. Now, I will say this was one of the better months for sure. There was tons of volatility, and overall, equities also carried me quite a lot during this month. But crypto also performed amazingly with our cross-sectional momentum strategy that I actually went through in a recent video a while back. Now, some of you have been asking for me to log into an account or whatever, so I thought I would share you a direct login from my mobile. Obviously, it can't really be changed through mobile into interactive brokers. Now, keep in mind, the percentages are not going to match up. Now, the reason why is I trade across multiple different brokerages, and interactive brokers is primarily only where I trade equities. So you can see the capital I have on equities and the percentage on that particular capital trading equities. And when you start running multiple strategies, you will realize you're definitely going to have a way to consolidate all of this information. And that's why I normally just share this particular kind of table because it just puts everything into one nice table and I can easily view it and review it. And obviously then it's very easy to show to you guys. I often get some questions as well, like, do I actually show my performance? I've been showing my performance on my YouTube for, I think, 2 years plus. So if you want to go through that, you totally can. But this isn't really a channel around me showing you tons of my results. I more want to show you my techniques and what I'm using and what I'm finding useful. That's the whole purpose of this channel since day one. So please more focus on that stuff rather than trying to like copy, a particular strategy of mine or something like that. It's more about the techniques and the ultimate lessons I'm learning over my trading career. And as you'll notice from this table, there is a mix of underperformance. I had one strategy draw down, I think 3%. I pretty much lost 3% on that particular one strategy. But of course, I had a ton of other strategies that were break even, and then some that did really well, like did 4.18%. So the whole purpose of this is that there is a mix of different strategy types, and they all perform differently in different markets. But overall, when you put them all in one portfolio, they outperform. But how did AI actually help me in this workflow and getting these strategies live? Well, there are 4 big levers that I kind of mainly use AI for. And one is translating ideas. So as you can see here, we have books, papers, podcasts, YouTube videos. A lot of algorithmic trading is finding new ideas or slight changes of current ideas and applying them and trying to slightly optimize your particular strategies. So what I can easily do now, and the technique I mainly use, is I find any books or papers that I think could be potentially useful. I then pass it through Claude, but Claude has access to one of my skill MDs, which has my philosophy and what I look for in strategies and what has previously worked very well for me. This way, when I'm passing in that paper, it kind of knows my own philosophy of how I look at strategies and what I actually like in most strategies. This makes it so much easier of a process because then it can just come back to me with, hey, this is a summary. These are some of the ideas I found in this paper or in this book that potentially could be useful to you. And then I always have it cite the actual page or source so I can quickly view it and then, read over it myself as well if I want to. Then 2 is running multiple coding tasks at once. To be honest, this has really been a game changer. Most of the time, I'm still writing the main strategy code, so the main logic and those sort of things, just because I want to make sure those are all perfect. But Claude can really help me in a lot of other areas like data pipeline, performance metrics, logging systems, which are really useful when you're having execution infra. Most of the time, actually, logs are like the most important thing just because it can be actually quite difficult sometimes to find out why a bug happened or why something is actually occurring. And those sort of things are perfect tasks to get AI to work on them for a couple of hours while I'm working on something else. And nowadays you have Claude Code, you have a ton of different agents you can use, meaning I can be coding on one particular thing and having other things completed in the background. This kind of leads me into my third point of what I mainly use it for, is getting stuck on bugs. If you've ever coded before, especially pre-AI, most of the time you can get stuck on a bug and it could last 5 hours, it could last 8 hours, it could last multiple days depending on the bug. And then 4 is removing the mental block. Now personally, this has never been too much of an issue for me, but in the cases it is, or when I have a new idea and I want to get started on it, now AI can give me that first template so much faster. It can normally take 10-20 minutes and I already have a very MVP version of that sort of project that I want to do up and running, and I can start kind of iterating it from there. Each one of these is maybe just a small improvement, but when you stack them all together, the speed at which I can research, test, and ship is on a completely different level than just 2 years ago, or even maybe like 6 months ago, give or take. But, and this is important, it's not all upside. There are some very real things AI is still very bad at today. If you don't know what they are, you're gonna most likely get burnt. But I did want to give you guys a bonus. I actually went through this in the Crypto Momentum group that I run, and one of the members asked, how do you structure all this context and like MD files when you're working with AI? So I just wanted to give you a quick rundown. It's a pretty simple system. Primarily, I use a 3-tier hierarchy. So 1 is tier 1, which is global, and this is the Claude MD. This is specifically when I'm working with Claude, but you can do this with other, obviously, AIs as well. Primarily, this is going to be at the project root, so whatever, mainly you are working on, and it's going to say the tech stack, the key assumptions, the rules, basically loaded into every single session you start coding with that particular project. Then tier 2 is more module-based. So this is going to be called a structure MD, and this is inside each major folder. So for example, the engine, data, live execution, backtest infra, these are going to give context to AI for that particular module of whatever you're coding with. And then tier 3 is basically task based. So you only really paste it in when you need it. So it's maybe one-off context. You want to quickly paste in a paper or something like that. And that mainly just lives on for one particular session. And a key thing to think about when you're making these MD files is they aren't a knowledge-based view. I see a lot of people put a lot of stuff in the MD files that the AI is not necessarily going to need or use. You want to make sure that they are as impactful as possible for the AI understanding what it is working on and what it should be doing every single time. So what a potential kind of project folder could look like is, you have My Crypto Research, you'll have Claude MD at tier 1, which is the global, so just be straight in that folder. Then you'll have your different separate folders, so data, research. Then you'll have your source side of things, so you'll have your engine and strategies. Then you can have a structure MD in both of those explaining what is happening in those particular folders. And that's pretty much it. It's a very simple system, but it's very, very useful for me for that AI always has context on what I'm typically working on and how I want it to structure itself. Now, what do we need to actually look out for when using AI? Well, AI is still very bad at being always confident. Even when it's wrong, it's going to tell you it's probably right, and it will regularly hallucinate, API things, especially if it's not a well-documented API. It will make up random function names and things like this. Most of the time, you're still going to have to cross-check stuff with your own knowledge or other sources before really trusting it. Two is misses complex trading ideas. Most of the time on surface areas, it's really great, but for subtle stuff like risk parity nuances, regime shifts, portfolio construction especially, it's not always the best. So a lot of times there, you're going to have to verify every assumption yourself, or what I personally like is you create your knowledge base, so what you believe is true for this particular, solution you're working on, and then you paste it into that and say you need to stick to these particular things, and this is what I personally think is true. Sometimes it's going to still fight back with you, but that's just one of the things you have to do with dealing with AI. Three is overfitting and overcomplication. What I see pretty much with everyone using AI nowadays is, hey, here's my strategy, improve it. And it will gladly add 50 indicators, 10 filters, and different free machine layers, whatever, to try and get a better performance historically. But a key thing in all of my time working with AI is I always gave it on the focus that simple is better. We want to be as robust as possible. I do not want to overfit, and AI has just made most strategies more overfit than ever really before because they think they're an algorithmic trader now and they can just paste in the strategy and get AI to improve it. But most of the time, that's never really going to work live. Four is pretty code that hides bugs. A lot of the time, AI code can be clean, I guess, to someone that just wants to kind of read it, almost like in English, if that makes sense. But a lot of times, they can actually hide really subtle bugs, especially if you're not too aware of coding knowledge. These can often cause some issues down the road where you realize, oh wow, it actually had a data leakage or it had a look ahead bias or things like that. So personally, what I would recommend is always, even if you don't understand code, once it has finished off, writing code for you, ask it to walk step by step of every single process it is doing and why it is doing that. And then normally through that process, you can often see if there's some misassumptions or if there's something kind of weird going on, and then you can go further into it. Obviously, if you can read code, you can just obviously look through the code, but this is a great way to kind of double check. Ultimately, AI is a coding partner. It is not a trader. Your judgment is still going to be very important. AI isn't some amazing trader and it's going to make you, hundreds of thousands creating an AI strategy. And if you check for these 4 warnings, you'll avoid 90% of disasters. Now, the next part is what hasn't changed over this time. Well, AI can now handle most of the coding, but what do you actually need to bring to the table? And these are exactly what separate people who succeed from people who normally blow up using AI strategies. One is foundational knowledge, knowing what a good system looks like before you build it. For example, if I came into creating a strategy using AI and I said, hey, I want you to create me a hyper profitable strategy and I want you to have super specific trades and it has the perfect entry and the perfect exit, and I pass it some historical data, it will most likely create you a backtest that looks amazing, but it will not work live. And the reason for that is it's because it's overfitting. So you still need to come in with the knowledge of knowing that simple most likely is better. I want it to be robust. I really don't want it to be hyper sensitive on parameter changes and those sort of things. 2 is the ability to verify AI's output. While you don't need to necessarily be as technical as you were before, you still need to understand a lot of the basics. Now, the greatest thing about that is you can actually ask AI to teach you the basics, and it will do a very good job of that. So there is still a bit of a chicken and egg problem here where you can kind of use AI to teach yourself how to spot AI mistakes, but this is just overly going to improve probably with model over model. Next is system design skill. Even simple bots can actually have very complex execution engines that you need to design. And often AI isn't going to get that perfect on the first run, and it's most likely going to need your help to structure a solid execution engine. I will probably make a video at some point in time of why execution engines can get so complicated, but there's just a lot of nuances people don't think about when interacting with exchanges or when you're having multiple strategies execute at once. The next part is the backtesting process. You obviously need to know what a good process looks like and the different sort of checks you need to make. So for example, out of sample data, walk forward optimization, parameter sensitivity, etc. Lastly is the live execution infra. This is going to be things like VPS, how you're going to monitor, what alerts you're going to have, is there going to be any fail-safes, and the most annoying one that I deal with a lot is exchange quirks. A lot of times exchanges are going to have different ways of interacting with the same sort of style endpoint, and you're going to have to understand how those differ, and you're going to have to code around those. Ultimately, AI accelerates the speed of execution, but it doesn't replace the foundations underneath of it. And this is exactly what we focus on inside the Crypto Momentum Group. We help you build your first live algo in crypto, using AI tools the right way with the foundations underneath. We give you the templates, the techniques, the infrastructure guides that I use, and the community to actually pull it off. For example, one of our members just was saying recently that it is so satisfying to have his algos running all the time finally, and he can't imagine having this set up without the group that we have provided for him. If you do want to find out more, feel free to click the first link in the description. And this all ties back really to my trading philosophy of why does using AI actually work for me when it maybe doesn't work for a lot of other traders? Well, it's because I focus on simple is better, almost always. The three strategy types I really focus on using this philosophy is trend following, mean reversion, and arbitrage/carry. These are all primarily premiums, and I can understand the reasons of why they work, apart from really arbitrage, that's more of an inefficiency, but they're very clear to me and I can understand why I'm going to make money with any one of these particular strategy types. And what I normally stay away from is heavy machine learning stacks, neural nets, anything with, 100 plus factors, those sort of things. A lot of times they're very easy to overfit and they're almost impossible to understand why they actually work. Now, let me be clear here. I'm not saying these things don't work. Many funds that I've actually worked with have setups like this and they do incredibly well, but they also have huge teams and incredibly smart people. Personally, for me, I know where my kind of edge lies and where I can actually make returns in the market. And it's not going to be in these hyper complex sort of structures. Most of the time, it's going to be more simple things, but optimizing them very well. So if you're starting algo trading right now, here's what I'll tell anyone before you think about getting into this. The good news is it's never been easier to start. AI removes the biggest barrier, coding. So for non-engineers, you can now be an algorithmic trader. But the hard news is it's never been easier to fool yourself either. You can overfit backtests, you can have hidden bugs that you're not going to understand, and you can be confident when you're actually getting the wrong AI output. Ultimately, AI has lowered the barriers to entry, but it raises the importance of judgment. Fundamentals now matter more than ever, really. So it is the best time to start, but it is the worst time to skip the foundations of doing so. And that's how 30 days of using AI has properly changed my algo trading workflow and what has come out on the other side. I hope this was valuable and see you in the next one.